Woohoo! And welcome to Carnivore Theater presents Supply and Demand, starring Godzilla and Sharktopus. When we open our scene, Sharktopus has a burrito that he has just made. And Godzilla is feeling really hungry. Oh, I am so hungry. Sharktopus wants to sell a burrito. Godzilla wants to buy a burrito. And suddenly, we have the beginnings of a market. Woohoo! By this, I don't mean like a supermarket, although you can look at it that way. I mean more generally a market for burritos. We're imagining that Godzilla and Sharktopus are the only two carnivores on the planet, just for right now. So, now that Godzilla wants to buy a burrito and Sharktopus wants to sell a burrito, we're about ready to play that super fun economics game, Name Your Price! Yay! Okay, so each of them is trying to figure out what sort of price is fair for the burrito. So Godzilla's thinking, I would like to pay $1 for the burrito. And Sharktopus is saying, no, I don't think $1 is enough. This is a really great burrito. I mean, look, it's got lettuce and tomatoes. It's probably got rice and beans, some other stuff in it. Well, they're carnivores, so it's probably got some, meat and stuff. I want $50. Now, this is a problem. If Godzilla wants to spend $1 and Sharktopus wants to charge $50, there is no agreement, so there won't be a sale. And so this is where we come up against the concept of pricing. And basically, pricing comes down to supply and demand. Godzilla would like to buy one. Sharktopus has one. We've got a burrito floating in the middle who didn't do anything but would just like to get eaten. And so we've got these two prices bonking up against each other. So let's talk about how we come to an agreement with price. So what's happening here? Well, what's happening here is consumers, the ones who want to buy the burrito, they want to try to minimize their cost. So when they look to a price, they want to make sure price stays low. So I've got this handy dandy little guy right here. I'm going to shift these guys sideways. So there's this little teeter-totter I made. Quantity versus price. Let me move the burrito over a little bit. I don't want Godzilla to get so hungry that she just reaches out and yum. Okay, not that I'm hungry or anything, but maybe. Okay, so we've got quantity and we've got price. And if you're a consumer, if the price is low, you'll want to buy it more or you'll want to buy more of it. And unfortunately, for the purposes of this video, we're not going to distinguish. So whether you want it more or you want more of them, we're going to kind of smoosh together. So as the price goes down, Godzilla is very excited about it. But as the price goes up, Godzilla is not so excited about it. Why is a high price hard on a consumer? Well, a high price is hard on a consumer because of, dun-dun-dun, opportunity cost. In this case, the opportunity cost is, for a consumer, the other things that you could buy with that money. If the price is too high, if the price is $50, it may be an amazing burrito. And it may be that Godzilla has $50 in her pocket. But if she spends $50 on that burrito, she then doesn't have $50 for other things. So the opportunity cost for consumers is always going to be, what else could you be doing with that money? And possibly even your time. What else could you be having for lunch? All those sort of interesting things we could discuss. Now let's go over and focus on the supplier's side. I'm going to move you over a little bit. I promise. I promise. I know Sharktopus is looking a little nervous. Like, oh, Godzilla's awfully close to that burrito, and it's getting cold, so talk fast. Okay. So it turns out for suppliers, you ready? This is serious technology. Here you can see the money that I have invested in these videos. Look at that. It turns out that, let me squish you up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So it turns out that for a supplier, quantity and price sit together so that as the price of the commodity goes up, so does the quantity. So let's think about why this is. Why in the world do price and quantity move together for a supplier? So for Sharktopus, if the price of the burrito is set in the market at $1, there isn't a lot of incentive for Sharktopus to make those burritos because burritos take a lot of time. You know, the beans have got to cook overnight because you don't want to just get them out of a can. The rice has got to take a lot of time. You got to chop up all the vegetables that you're going to put in, you know, all the other things. So there's a lot of work and there are a lot of ingredients. So if the price is too low, like $1, then Sharktopus isn't going to get a lot in return. And what do we call this? Dun, dun, dun! Opportunity cost! You got it. So Sharktopus is thinking, what else could I be doing in my time? What else could I be selling? Maybe burritos aren't what I want to sell. Maybe I want to sell something that has a better return on my investment. Okay, but as the price goes up, what happens? Well, as the price goes up, Sharktopus gets more excited. Maybe other suppliers come into the market. Because let's be honest, if somebody suddenly says, okay, all burritos are going to cost $50 in this city, suddenly other people are going to be like, I'll make burritos too. Everyone's going to be in. And suddenly the market gets flooded with people who really like the idea of making burritos for $50. So when the price goes up, suppliers get happy. That's the way I think of it. Quantity is like their happiness. So price goes up, quantity goes up. Price comes down, quantity comes down. Let's remember what happens over here with consumers. With consumers, again, oh my gosh, look at that amazing piece of technology right there. I know, I spare no expense for these videos. Oops, sorry, pardon me, burrito. For consumers, price and quantity do not move together. They move in opposition. As the price goes down, the quantity goes up. So low price makes consumers happy. High price makes consumers sad. Come over here. Low price makes suppliers or sellers unhappy. High price makes suppliers happy. So, I know this has been really fun, but now I'm going to do something. You ready? Dun, dun, dun! I know. Are you prepared? Are you in a good place? You might want to sit. I'm going to put out some graphs. I know. It's a lot. It's like, oh no, not the graphs. Okay, but let's take a look at what's happening. So these are supply and demand curves. They are pretty consistent. And I know, first thing you're going to notice, you're going to be like, well, those aren't curves, those are lines. Well, we refer to them as curves. It doesn't mean that they are actually curvy. It's just the language that's used. So in this case, we're looking at it as a linear interaction between price and quantity. Notice that this line is positive. A positive slope, if it moves up like that, means the two things in question, price and quantity, move together. So price goes up, quantity goes up, price goes down, quantity goes down. When you see the things moving together, you've got a line that goes up, positive slope. Okay, what's going on over here? Well, you'll see high price is associated with low quantity. As quantity gets bigger, price is coming down. That's a negative slope. That's downward tending. The line moves down, and that shows you that two things are in opposition. They move opposed to each other. They do not move together. So from that perspective, hopefully you can look at the graphs and go, oh, This is two things, price and quantity, moving together. This is two things, price and quantity, moving in opposition. Because again, if you're at the burrito store, you're going to make a decision. You know, if you're really hungry and you want to get a bunch of burritos, but they're $50 each, you're going to say, whoa, I can't buy that many. But if the price comes down, you'll be like, whoa, yeah, let me get a 10-pack, right? If they're only $1 each, I'll buy a bunch and put them in the freezer or something. I know, frozen burritos, maybe not your thing, but still, that's the way that supply and demand works. So the question is, what do we do to come to an agreement between these two? Well, the agreement that has to come between these two, if we magically blend these together, is that we have to look at a graph, which I am very quickly writing up. We look at the two graphs, and remember, again, you don't have to have these labeled because hopefully you feel comfortable with this, but a lot of times we'll remind people that's the S, and that's supply, and this is demand. Again, this is the consumer, this is the supplier or the seller. And we'll notice that here are all the prices and quantities that the consumer is willing to, these are the decisions the consumer's making. This is the decisions that Sharktopus, isn't that cool that Sharktopus, right? That's the Sharktopus line. I'm sorry, that's not the G line, it's the Godzilla. There we go. The D is for Godzilla. But notice that there is a magical, wonderful, beautiful place right there in the middle. Oh my goodness. That point lies on both curves. We call it market equilibrium. And what does that mean? At that point, everybody's happy. Now, is that the point where you sell the most burritos? No. Is that the point where you charge the most money? No. This is the point where the pricing is considered perfect. You sell exactly as many burritos. So right now our market has one burrito. So you sell that one burrito from Sharktopus. Sharktopus says, would you like a burrito? And Godzilla says, yes, please. Here's some money. And Sharktopus gives the burrito to Godzilla, who's like, yum, 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 yum. So Godzilla just ate the burrito. Everyone's happy. Market equilibrium. It's just about the happiest ending to a fairy tale you've ever heard of. Everyone's happy. Money's been exchanged. Yay, economics. Woohoo, guys. Math on.